this is Jenny from Just Being Me, and you're listening to the Learning to Love Yourself podcast, the show that inspires you to put yourself first.
Learning to love yourself on the path to happiness. Learning to love yourself on the path to happiness.
So today we're with Dani Smith, who is somebody that's been in my world for quite some time, who helped me out with a load of tech in a moment in time when I'm sitting there with my head in my hand going, I can't go. Taught me a whole load of things to get me on my journey. And so I'm really, really pleased to have a chat to her today. So she's going to talk us through why she wants to do self-care, but I'm going to let Dani introduce herself.
Oh, thank you, Jenny. And it's such a pleasure. I actually feel like emotional listening to that. So nice. Because I know the journey you've been on, I've been on, and it's just amazing. So thank you. I'm Dani, and I am a business mentor. And I'm a mum of 3, and I've been in business 10 years, just recently closed down my keepsake business, and me and Jenny met through sewing, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, sewing, yeah.
Creativity. So yeah, that's me. I've got a disabled husband, and well, we've got all sorts going on in our life. As we all do, though, everybody does. Everybody's journey is relevant. And yeah, so I'm excited to be here talking to you today, Jenny. But that's pretty much me. I'm very creative as well.
So just on that side, we'll talk a little bit about it later, about why you do the creation. But tell me the defining moment in your life that made you go, okay, this needs to change and I need to look after myself.
So I think most people, they have like a kind of breaking point, don't they? But
Absolutely.
for me, yeah, that happened for me when I was like a teenager, when I was struggling. I believe anxiety and depression. I went to like appointments and stuff, but I never did anything about it. And then it was after I'd had children and I came into the actually online business world. I watched a training, like in a networking session it was about money mindset. And she was like, you need to do this and you need to do that. And I was so engrossed in it. And I was, oh, okay. And I just thought I'll give it a go. I'm one of these people that will give anything a go. And I don't think at that point I was kind of broken or anything. But financially I was. But in my mind and my mindset and where I needed to be, it wasn't like that pivotal moment. So my story's a little bit different, I think. But I was before that and I didn't realise I needed it. But I just started implementing it then. So it came to me just like learning from others naturally. I thought I was learning about business, but I ended up on a different journey, as we do.
And if you are somebody that's in business for yourself, unless you get your own mindset right, it's really hard to get your business right.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. Because we are one whole being, aren't we? So it affects everything.
Yeah. And it's really interesting in the fact that, I see a lot of people where they're sort of, business, mindset for business and that sort of thing. And I just think, well, your mindset's your mindset. And actually, once you get that right, you can start then doing all sorts of things. But unless you get that intrinsic who you are right inside of you correct, you need to get to know yourself. You're not going to go anywhere. So tell us a little bit about what you do as self-care.
Oh, I do many things. It's like a massive list. So a lot of my creative hobbies are my self-care because I just like the mindfulness of it, the downtime. I go somewhere else when I'm being creative, whether that's sewing, colouring, drawing. I love doodling at the minute. Crochet. I always crochet like during the winter because I love the making blankets and things. Keeps me warm. And the kids love it, see me creating things as well. But outside of like creative projects, I love dancing. So I go to Zumba. I love writing. I guess that's a bit creative as well. And I do a lot of journaling and occasionally, I attend like moon circles and ceremonies and do rituals and get really spiritual as well, because that all plays a massive part in what I need, basically, and that's self-care for me. So I have quite a variety. I don't have one set routine. I do have a routine, but then I bring in a lot of different things a lot of the time, depending on.
Do you have something that you do every day and that's just non-negotiable?
Yeah, and I do have times where I don't stick to it and I kind of tell myself off to that because it's essential to do it. So my non-negotiable is the journaling. I love EFT, emotional freedom tapping. Absolutely love it. I think it's anything with movement I love because it does shift you from where you are. It shifts things. So I love that. So those are non-negotiable. I think music as well is quite non-negotiable for me. I notice a difference with me just listening to one song than when I don't, to raise my vibrations, like really makes a difference as well. So, but non-negotiable journaling for me, absolutely, is the key thing every morning. And I want to try and get into the habit of doing it before bed as well, because that was just even stronger. Just 5 minutes makes all the difference.
And that's what I was going to say. How long does it take? And, you know, you just said it just takes 5 minutes. So
Well, I do spend longer on it because I do enjoy like my journaling questions and going deeper and thinking into it. But if you don't have a lot of time, let's not let time be an excuse. Let's just spend 5 minutes. So like if it is before bed, I will literally do 5 minutes. I'm tired.
absolutely. I mean, I hear this a lot from my clients, is the fact that I'm too busy. I don't have enough time to do it. So I've created a toilet break self-care kit. So, you know, the longest thing in there is 3 minutes.
Yeah.
The longest of self-care is 3 minutes. So, you know, it's like you can do it. There is no reason why you can't look after you. And actually, I don't know about you, Dani, but I've found, and my clients come back and say that actually when they get themselves into the place where they're doing their daily self-care, that they are more productive.
Oh, yeah.
I think we have more time. How does that happen when they're using time to do this, that they have more time at the end of the day?
Absolutely. Like I find it often like people think it sounds daft because they're like, no, I don't have time to stop or rest or whatever because I've got so much to do. But I always do this now and I've learned it the hard way because if not, I burn out. Whereas if I feel a bit ill, I stop, I rearrange things. And I used to be a people pleaser and not do it. But actually, my thought process now is if I don't look after myself, then I'm not going to serve that person that in whatever scenario, as a mum, as a wife, as with clients, whatever that scenario is. So I'll literally daytime naps if I need it. I'll stop and eat something a bit more if I need it, do movement, do journaling, whatever I need to do, basically to reset my brain. And I know sometimes we can do those things and we still don't feel in the right energy. So I will be like, right, okay, I'm not ready yet, and take more time. And I think sometimes people think it's a bit like, because I'm quite organised, I think sometimes people think, what is she doing? Like, she's not organised at all, but it's not. It's about prioritising the mindset and self-care, which is so important. And it allows me to recoup. And I find when I come back to it then, I will literally smash things off because there's no point forcing the things that I need to do because I'll be so much slower. It'd be energetically draining and then it affects my mindset and the results. I've got a saying that I say actually to clients. I say that if you're energy poor, then your productivity poor. And if your productivity poor, your results poor because it all affects, it's all a chain. Everything affects everything. So I say that a lot now because I've learned the hard way that it's true.
Absolutely. And you know, for example, I know that if I get creational and I think, oh, I get a download and I need to write this down, I can't say, well, it's 5 o'clock, I'm not working.
Yeah.
If it comes, it comes. And therefore, I always diary into our week a 2-hour lunch break where my husband and I go out to lunch together. It's our lunch date. Because, you know, you can often forget to just spend time together. And it's actually, we prefer to go out at lunch because it's less busy and all sorts of reasons. We're way too old now and we kind of get to the place where, you know, evenings are like on the sofa. But just, I diary that in and people go, oh, you're going out to lunch? And it's like, yeah, why wouldn't I? You know, because if that fills our relationship up, then that's what we'll do. That's what we need to do to keep that on the right thing. So tell me about the people around you, how important the people around you are for keeping your energy in a good place.
Oh, very important. So I never noticed until I'd done this work how much other people's energy affects you. And then as I came into the business world and become aware of all this, I was in a mastermind, I've done group coach, I've done all sorts of things when I'm the client. And the people I was spending my time with, I realised I was building stronger connections and relationships with people who just got me and understood me. So then I realised over time I needed new circles. And I'm surrounding myself with more of those people now. Don't get me wrong, family, still love being around them, it's small doses. Because and I love them and everything, but a lot of the time they don't understand the journey I'm on. They are a lot better with stuff like that now. They weren't in the beginning, but even like friends and stuff sometimes don't understand it. But now I have friends who do get it and friends who are in like my circle of people who also practice the things that I practice, who understand the business world, who understand us and what we're doing, basically the things that me and you talk about, like they get it. And whether that, it can be different things. It can be business, it could be neurodiversity, because we're dealing with that, with disability, with mindset, loads of different things that are an element in my life. I'm in so many communities now, or little circles of people that are in those places as well. And you're just never alone. And I love that. It has a massive impact.
And for me, it's also about the fact that, I talk a lot about tribes, but I have different tribes for different places. So, I have my home tribe, I have a business tribe, I have a friends tribe. I have different tribes in different places. And like you say, when you're talking about networking in communities that are on a computer, you're in so many different places. And therefore, what I really love now is, since COVID, where we all jumped online,
Yeah.
we now have connections from people that were in one tribe. And now we're connecting in a different tribe because we're creating tribes on it. And that's just fabulous because of the fact that I get to be around all of the people that fill my cup up, and they will equally say, you fill my cup up, so it's mutually beneficial. And it just takes your day away. It means that you've got the energy for the day, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So people that understand that when you go, okay, I'm all peopled out, I need to, because I know you're in the neurodiverse world as I am, you get peopled out at some points, don't you? And you just need to go and be by yourself. And it's people that understand me for that, and they don't take that as an offense, and that's lovely to be in that place where people just accept you for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
Kind of talking about the online world, how do you think that the online, the Facebook and the Instagram and all the places that we're supposed to be puts a pressure on self-care, and, how sometimes you need to do something about that? What's your take on that?
Yeah, so I know there's been a lot of discussion on social media. People are leaving social media, and there's been discussions about it being toxic. And I agree, it can be. But I also think sometimes we need to take responsibility for that, like kind of use the algorithm to give us content that we want to see, but also setting the boundaries for how much time you spend on it. Because like you were saying earlier about going for lunch with your husband, that is lovely. And it's actually something we've put in practice for after Christmas, because I'm having an extra day off a week. So that kind of, for, space and time and self-care, because I want more of it. But like, we can spend so much time on our phones scrolling and doing these things, and it can get overwhelming. But because we can get bored, sometimes we go back to the phone and the scrolling, and then it has an impact because we can see negative messages, news that we don't want to see, and that impacts us mentally, impacts our energy. But I do think sometimes we have to recognize that and take action based on it. So I used to be the person that would say, oh my God, social media is awful. It's doing this, it's doing that. But now, actually, I think we have to kind of take a bit of responsibility and analyze it for what it is, and then take action based off that, whether that's, oh, I've had, quite a lot of time on it today, I'm going to step back. Or if you just see something you don't like, unfollow it. That button's there for a reason. We need to use it. Easier said than done, I know. But nobody but you knows either. Nobody's really going to notice if you... I mean, I have noticed when people have unfriended me before, but I don't take offense anymore. If people need to not see me, that's fine. They're hopefully respecting their own sanity by, if in whatever way you get triggered by content, and that's not their fault. That's not my fault. It's just how it is. And I think it's really important to protect ourselves in that way.
TV comes into it as well, doesn't it? And one of the things that, I became conscious of was the fact that my husband and I would come together in the evening and then sort of do a compromise on what we actually want to watch on the TV. And now he has a stack of books by his side and I have a stack of books by my side. And my books are more about, colouring and that sort of thing, whereas his books are very in-depth. He likes a good read,
Yeah.
My ADHD allows me about 10, 15 minutes of reading, and then my head gets distracted. And that's why I sew, because I can go up into my own little world in sewing. It's just so important to take that step away. And I want to talk to you because, as I say, you said earlier, I know you've got 3 children. Do you do your self-care around your children, or do you hide it away from them?
No, I don't hide it away. And I think it's important not to. I think more of us as parents now are being more open to sharing with the kids what they're doing. But I also don't, it's hard for me because I want them to see what I'm doing, to be open, but I also don't want to force them into something, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I tried talking to my son about manifestation before, and it's just straight over, I don't want to do this. And he's quite negatively, why didn't I see it from me? Because I was like that as a child. It's literally me as a child. And it's like history repeating itself. And I think that's probably because when he was born, I was still like that.
Yeah.
And So it is interesting and I do want to help, but then I want them to be ready when they're ready and not force it. But things like colouring and mindfulness and things like that help. Like my son last weekend, usually I'm the one that hyper-focus and the kids just go off and do what they want. They get distracted. But he spent the full day sat doing some colouring. I wanted to do it for me because I just love it and I just, mindfulness. But he ended up doing it and he was sat so engrossed in it. And it's just so nice to see. And even like when I've done rituals and stuff before, where I'm using crystals and I'm burning stuff, nearly setting house on fire, which I do. I'm very accident prone. So they'll see me and they'll come and I allow the interruption and just explain to them what I'm doing. I've actually had a moon session that I hosted once with some friends on Zoom, and he sat at the side of me. And I mean, he was bored, but he was like interested. And then he just went off when he wanted to. So like, it's good for them to see what we're doing or asking those questions. Why are you doing this? And what do you do that for? And I just share.
Because kids mirror you.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And one of the big things is I've got a couple of littlies in my world. And actually they came home from school one day and said to their mum, who was a little bit stressed, just breathe, man. Just breathe. Take a big, deep breath. And I'm sitting there going, oh, I love that. And they've been taught it at school.
Yeah.
And, I think this generation coming up where they are being taught it in school will be much better. But we are still, a lot of us, in the process of learning to look after our mental health, and that's what self-care is about. But it's not about the fact that you must do manifestation or you must do or you must do or you must do. You do what it is that fills your cup up.
Yes. And
what fills your cup up actually happens to coincide with a lot of what fills my cup up. But we don't have to do the same thing. I'm not a big journaler. And when I've got a problem, when I can't sort it out, then I write it down. I'm much more of a breath work or affirmations. Again, it's my attention span is quite short for journaling. So I will do a little bit, but not necessarily great, but whereas you do it daily. Tell us a little bit about your business, because you've alluded to the fact that you're a business coach, but tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I will do. So I've been doing this for 3 years. I'm a business mentor and coach, and I'm the queen of business organisation. So I specialise in helping holistic and wellness business owners, kind of helping those because of this, because I get on with them so much. And my masculine energy fits them really, really well because I help with strategy, organisation, business management. So I do all of that, but that's not where I started. I had a product-based business, like me and Jenny met through sewing, didn't we? And I had a product-based business that I took ages to get off the ground and make me some money. And then I finally did it, just as we entered lockdown, actually. And I turned it around in the space of months. I was fully booked, sold out. So then when I did that, I just naturally, I love helping people and started sharing tips and things like that. And I was networking. And then someone said to me, you should charge for this. I was like, what? No. And it reminds me how you were involved a bit, because you were sewing and then now you're helping with what you're really good at and helping people with mindset and accountability and self-care, which is so important. And I think there's just something you get out of helping people. I just can't explain it. It's amazing. So I love what I do. And I've come away from that other business, but it took me to this, to being where I am now. So
it's all part of the journey, isn't it? You need the journey, the place. And who knows, in a year's time, we may be in another place. This is just part of the journey, isn't it? This isn't the yes. This is just part of the journey.
Yeah, it's ongoing. Like someone said to me the other day, do you not feel a bit sad? And I'm like, no, it's the end of an era, but in a good way. I've changed so much. I've evolved. It's got me to this point, and the way I can help people in this business feels a lot better than the other business. And I just love that people come to me not knowing, like we were talking about social media, not knowing how to use social media for business, not knowing how to implement a strategy, being often very unorganized, especially those who have ADHD or are undiagnosed ADHD, and then they become aware of it, and I help a lot of people like that now, or have children with it, which is very similar to me. Autism, not ADHD for my family, but so that's kind of
under that umbrella.
My husband is both. So it's like those challenges affect life, affect business. So me being able to come in and help be more organised and manage things a bit better just makes an impact. And that's what I do mostly, but I am a business mentor. So cover many things, but yeah, I love what I do.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put all of Dani's links down below in the show notes so you can just have a look and see where it is and go and connect with her if she feels like the person you need to connect with. But thank you once again, Dani, for today, and we'll catch up again.
Yes.
And see where our journeys are then.
Thank you, Jenny.
Are you feeling stuck? Do you want to be able to create a better conversation with yourself, but just don't know where to start? I offer a free 20-minute session to see where you want to be and how to get you there. Just click on the link below. Remember, it's free. Book your space. It could change your life. Thanks for listening today. If you'd like to know more, you can find all the links down below. Oh, and don't forget to press subscribe so you can catch the next one. See you soon.